My name is Stephen Rand, and I'm the executive director at apexart. And I have known Julia now for 8 years, 8 years.
I worked for you for 6, and I think it's been 4 years since I left Apex. So I think we've known each other for 10 years, yeah. And I'm Julia Knight. I'm the museum director of Poster House.
I think one of the ways I was going to start this was to ask you what you consciously brought with you from, because you administered the fellowship and the operations. So the fellowship was on a one-to-one situation a lot more where, you were dealing with the person. And the other was logistics.
Yeah, project management. It turns out that's like the number one thing that I look for in other people now, because it is really challenging to do effectively. And so when people are good at it, it means I don't have to do it, which is always a nice relief. But I stole so many things from you, to be honest. I stole a lot of your management approaches. You are really invested in letting people own a piece of your organization, like that they get to start to develop programs there, to have their ideas heard, and then to get credit for what they put on the table. And it just makes people want to be there a lot more and work harder for the organization because they love what they're getting out of it personally. So I definitely do that as much as I possibly can. And then I think also, you were really against programs that didn't make sense. You don't want to do something just because it sounds cool. Like, they actually have to function in the real world. And I think so we just launched this giant PSA program where we got designers to make PSAs, but we wanted them to be seen. So many people are making art right now that they are in competitions on websites all over the place. People don't necessarily see those. We wanted people in New York to actually encounter these pieces. So we got 1,800 screens donated to us all over New York through Link NYC, Times Square billboards, Silvercast billboards, so that when New Yorkers go out on their essential outings, they can actually see the stuff on the street.
What I say to staff now and what we're doing, it's got to be interesting. It's got to be something that people want to see. And if we're just doing things that either look like art-related activity or art-related something, and it's not something you want to watch, either cut it down to be, 1 minute and find the best parts, or change what you're doing. If you're not being vulnerable, people are not relating to what you're doing, I think.
I agree with you a lot on it has to be interesting. We worked a lot on our exhibition wall text just to make it as clear and concise as possible. We use bullet points because, using myself as an example, which one should never do, I don't read wall text. I don't understand wall text. So I will read 3 bullet points, though, at the beginning of anything. That I can handle. So I think really cutting it down and not expecting that your audience is interested more than even you are is definitely important. But the other thing about posters in particular is that they are already about selling you something and self-promotion. You can't be obtuse as a poster, otherwise you fail. So you have to just be quick, immediately gratifying. You got to get to the point. And so we just try and make everything kind of resemble the medium itself. All of our mission is taken from the medium of a poster to figure out how to reach people. But to be honest, so Poster House opened in June of 2019. It's now April of 2020. We were only open for 8 months before we had to close down to COVID. So we didn't have as much opportunity as we wanted to field feedback and just get data from people. So that's, now that we launched this PSA project, I'm over that. And now I need to get back to the more fundamentals of building this museum, which is taking an opportunity to reach out to people and say, tell us about yourself. And in that way, getting sort of off of the museum's ego and onto other people's.
We, as you know, have a lot of past fellows that are the administrators in their country now. And to almost a person, the people that you administered. Um, it's a life-changing experience for people because they do things when they've gotten older that they stop doing, and it reorients their openness to things.
I am still in touch with so many Apex Art residents who always tell me how life-changing the experience was. One of my favorite stories is Stephanie Powell, whom we sent to Cambodia, and she, her son is now, I think he's 12 or 13. So he was young at the time that we sent her. And she was like, it's been forever since I've just done me and not me as a mom, me as a, employee, me as a wife, whatever it is. It was just about her. And that she was like, I want to do something like this every year because it's so nurturing. It's so helpful to do. Or I think about somebody like Val, whom we sent to South Korea, who I think didn't understand her own strength before she did it. She wanted to come home at a certain point because North Korea had fired arms across the DMZ for like the first time in 25 years. But it was 3 days before her flight home. And so I was like, I feel like you could stick it out 3 days so that I don't have to call the airlines. And I honestly think those 3 days might have been the most important days for her, because it's just like what you can do under duress is so much more than you think you can. And I think that is what a lot of us are learning now, although I am very cognizant of the fact that not everybody is in a good space. Not everybody can just go out there and conquer COVID and do projects and be upbeat and do all of that. It's not it's simply not possible. But I think these are the moments where you kind of test out not only what you're capable of, but what you need to be human yourself.